Hey, so I see you want to get into Attack on Titan. Well, let me help you out with that. The animation is pretty good. Season 4 uses a bit more CG than the earlier seasons, so if that bothers you, I mean, just don't let it get to your head. But it's good, all things considered. Wait, what? Wait, you want to read it? Well, are you sure you want to read it, man? I mean, come on. Why would you do that, man? Jesus. Look, I like anime and manga. To me, it's the best of both worlds. But could I recommend you one over the other? These days, not really. With anime, you got filler, so that's one downside. But with manga, you have this. What the fuck is happening? For Christ's sake, you've lost the bloody plot. Not knocking the authors of these manga at all, by the way, but kudos to the animators for understanding what the fuck is happening. All right, let's get serious. For manga people, the reason you want to read manga is because you don't have filler, it's quicker. I'm looking at you, Naruto, and for the most part, the artwork is stellar. The authors are having fun using expressive styles to demonstrate a scene. For the most part. Okay, I gotta admit, some manga art is either too complicated to understand or just downright ugly. With My Hero, and sometimes Jujutsu Kaisen, it is incredibly hard to follow some of the fight scenes, which is why sometimes when they animate these scenes, they add in original choreography, you know what I mean? Because sometimes it's just easier to do that than to make it panel for panel into the anime. And sometimes the art is just ugly. Demon Slayer. I'm looking at you, brother. Like the video I made about Demon Slayer earlier. Its anime carries the source material. We know whatever the scene is, the studio is going to deliver. And thank God for it, because some of the paneling, it's downright awful. I'm no Toriyama, okay? My understanding of the art paneling is far from his. But would it kill you to make a few dynamic angles? Naruto is a terrific manga in terms of the art. He has many 2-page spreads, tons of dynamic shots, and every hit from a character, you feel the impact through the art. It's incredible that he did this on a weekly basis. Manga can be used to draw very visually interesting scenes that cannot be replicated in animation. There's just no way to recreate this into that. I ragged on My Hero earlier, but some of the scenes are downright gorgeous. He uses all like the shadows and hatching and action lines and stuff like that. You just can't replicate that into a moving thing. It has to be stagnant for you to look at. Now the downside of manga. Niggas don't want to read, bro. Now I know you might be like, bro, you for real? And yes, bro, I am dead ass. The argument is, why would I read it when I can see people act it out and, move? And, you can't really argue with that. It's not a whole lot there to dispute because it's all downright the preferences, right? And sometimes manga art is sometimes saved by the anime. With Naruto, the first few arcs almost completely reworked all of Kishimoto's OG designs for a more cookie cutter look, for lack of better words. Kishimoto's OG designs were a lot more rugged looking, so to speak. And in fact, Kishimoto started to replicate the anime's art design for a more consistent look. And I will say he did a damn good job. Now that we understand the ups and downs of manga, let's go over to anime. It moves, all right? That's why you want to watch anime. But for real, anime adaptations are never going to be one for one or perfect with the source. That's why they're called adapts. Many of your favorite scenes from anime are sometimes not even in the source material. Shikamaru crying to his dad, for example, not in the manga. Gohan going Super Saiyan 2 in the time chamber, that's not in the manga. Yuji and Toto giving Nanami a case of the beats. It's in the manga, bro, but look at this. This is insanity. Like, why did y'all do all this? Not even just those scenes, but they can also make you feel the type of way too. The voice acting can be pretty damn good on top of the soundtrack. They even use speechless sometimes. Okay, that's all the pros. Now to the bad. Some of the animation is not okay. Animators work hard and are very much not cared for by the industry they serve. So that leads to very subpar, disappointing, or downright awful animations or executions in their adaptations. This has a reasonable excuse, so I can't really fault them because I can only imagine how much stress they are under, having to pump this shit out sometimes on a weekly basis. Next, the dubbing of some adaptations is just, I can't, man. Just listen.
That when you get wet, your body hardens and you can't turn to sand. So you can be clobbered when you're a big stiff.
Answer me. Who are you?
It's Big Green!
Let that child alone. Let me alone.
It's about time I was allowed to have some fun. Now I'm going to teach our visitor a lesson.
No, don't do it! He's too powerful!
You're right. Why didn't you tell me sooner?
Hey, what the fuck? You got a fucking problem? I'll pound the living shit out of you, you dumbass freaky tourist. I'll knock your fucking head off.
I think y'all get it. And lastly, filler. The greatest war crime of all time. Basically to pad out the runtime of a show and not be on the heels of the manga. Studios will make original stories known as filler. Shows of recent have made anime seasonal to avoid these complications, but many of the GOAT anime all have them, which pads out the run of the show and leads to shows racking up an episode count of 700 plus. Naruto, 220 episodes, 91 are filler. Dragon Ball Z, 291 episodes, 38 are filler. That's actually pretty low for Dragon Ball. I could have sworn it was more. One Piece, 1,075 episodes and counting. Watch all of it. This is clearly a repellent to those who would like to get into a show, but don't want to sit through all that. And not for nothing, people don't want to sit through 30 episodes. Seasonal anime like Demon Slayer, JJK, and Attack on Titan are shows that the casual anime fan are more likely to watch because the episode count just isn't as overwhelming as the older gen animes. And you can't fault them for that, because before I got into One Piece, this was the episode count, and somehow I prevailed. I just got that dog in me, you know what I'm saying? So we looked at both the pros and the cons of anime and manga. So which one should you look into? Which one is going to give you the more bang for your buck? And the definitive answer is